For electronics enthusiasts like me, testing the circuits on which I'm working on is very important. Whether we are testing circuits or charging batteries, a bench power supply is an essential tool. Every electronics student or enthusiast must have a bench power supply, so I thought of making one myself. Now I had made a crude power supply using some daughter board and the LM2596 switch mode regulator. As I had made the body of the device with MDF, it did not last long. I used the LM2596 switch mode regulator because it was much more efficient than linear ones and allowed me to take more than 1 or 1.5 amps from the output. So the next thing I did was to open up my schematic design software and designed a circuit for the bench power supply. The circuit has a center tap transformer input, a full wave rectifier, some bypassing capacitors and the regulating circuit itself. You would have noticed we require an Schottky diode and an high power inductor for this circuit. But I thought I already had a buck converter module based on the LM2596 IC which had the entire regulator circuit in it. What I had to do is to put my own feedback resistors in order to produce different voltages at the output. So I soldered up some male headers to the module and hooked it up to two multimeters for testing. I applied 12 volts as input, which is shown on the multimeter in the left, and I measured the output on the multimeter in the right. Now to vary the output voltage, this trim potentiometer is being used. So I removed it and did some contact testing and found out the feedback pin where it was connected. Then I soldered a wire to that pin and placed the module on a breadboard. I applied 12 volts as input once again and used a 10 kilo ohm potentiometer to connect between the feedback pin and the output pin. And by varying the resistance, I can change the output voltage. So now I had found the two terminals to put my different values of resistance to vary the output voltage. Now I needed the actual feedback value for all the voltages I desired. We can refer to the datasheet to get that values, but I thought let's try finding them out practically. So I varied the potentiometer till the output was 3.3 volts and measured the resistance of the pod and got about 575 ohms. The nearest to that value of resistance I had was 560 ohms. So I put it in and got an output of 3.3 volts. Perfect. I also tested for 5 volts, but when I was testing for 12 volts, I realized I was going to use this 15015 transformer in full wave rectifier as the input, so 30 volts at the input. And I was testing these output feedback resistors at 12 volts input. I thought that might create some problems for the final circuit, so I grabbed a boost converter module and connected its output to my test circuit's input and varied the voltage to 30 volts. And I put the 560 ohms resistor in again and got 3.3 volts again. So I thought it's okay. So now I tested the feedback resistance for 9 volts, 12 volts and 15 volts. I would also need a adjustable voltage terminal, so I hooked up a 10 kilo ohm pot and it worked fine. These are the values of resistances I got by testing. Now I hooked up the rest of the circuit with the transformer on the breadboard and turned it on. I was reading 22.8 volts at the output of the rectifier than the 30 volts I should have, but it was enough for me. I also connected the feedback potentiometer and tested the output again. I also put in the 560 ohms resistor to test and the output was stable 3.3. Now for the display, I could have used a volt/amp meter like this, but the problem with it was its display refresh time was very slow and the measurements were also not very accurate. So I created a meter myself using a microcontroller. I won't show you how I made it as it is a topic for another video, but I was very satisfied with it. So I opened up PCB Droid software and started designing the board. Now I won't go into much detail as I already have a whole series on making PCBs, so I recommend check them out. After I was done, I had this design which I was satisfied with, so I made it. It looked something like this after soldering. And you might notice I had to make a separate adapter for the IC as I had the pin spacings wrong on the board because I exported the design in A4 size from PCB Droid and printed it in A5. So do not make this mistake, you never want to install an adapter like this. Now was the time to take a look at the rotary switch, which I will use to switch between different output voltages. Now first I was trying to create a footprint for this to make a board for it, but the pin spacings were too complex. But then I realized the pins are in a circular shape, so I just have to get the radius and I would have the footprints. Now after I had designed this feedback switcher board, I made it and tested it. I tested it for different resistor values, then I soldered all the wires and connected it to the rest of the circuit and tested it again. Now I laid out all the components necessary and opened my Fusion 360 to design an enclosure, and after I was finished, it looked something like this. So I initiated the print in black PLA on my Creality Ender 3 3D printer. And after 24 hours of printing, I finally had the enclosure. Before installing all the components, I did a fitting test and everything fitted just right, except the female banana post due to the thickness of my enclosure, but with some heat I took care of it. Next I soldered all the remaining wires and gave it a last test. After that, I first secured the power switch on the back. And after that, I installed everything into place. Now this may not look the best from the inside, but it does the work. The imperfections you can see around the banana jacks is due to the heat treatment I had to do earlier. That's something for you to watch out for. After that, I printed out the lid and installed it. The end result looks something like this. I also tested it yet again to make sure everything was working fine. The output voltage ranges from 1 to 21 volts. Max output current is 2 amps. I also have a 12 volt DC jack at the input if we want to give an external output. If you got to learn something from this video, do give a like and share. Do consider subscribing for more videos like this. Also, if you want to make one yourself, leave a comment and I will provide all the data necessary for you to make it.